Hi everyone, thank you for watching. My name is Naveen Yoseke, and I'm joining from Canada, specifically the capital city, Ottawa. And now I'll be answering three questions, and then I'll be giving my response. So the first question is that it's asking me to share something that I like to do in my free time, and or briefly share an interesting experience I once had. Something I like to do in my free time is I like to go for walks, or I like to also work on jigsaw puzzles. I'm currently working on one actually, and it's about 1,500 pieces. So those are the two things that I really enjoy doing during my free time. The second question is asking me to briefly share an interesting experience I once had. So an interesting experience I once had was, I believe it took place last year, 2025, where for the first time in my life, I experienced this. I had something growing under my tongue, and I went to the doctors, and they actually said it was called ranula, if I remember correctly. And it was about the size of a quarter. I wish I had a quarter here, but Canadian currency, we have coins. I know US also does, but yeah, so we have it's about, yeah, like a quarter, about this big. So it was very uncomfortable and it was under my tongue. And then I remember my church, we had a Friday night service, and usually we call it the Encounter and Healing service. And I remember the pastor, apostle, was praying, and literally after he was praying, I heard this thing pop in my under my tongue, and it was very uncomfortable. It took place for almost like 6 months. It would come and go within that time frame, but yeah, it was very uncomfortable. At some point it started to get very painful, but I really thank God for this. I really want to call it a testimony, really, instead of an experience, but it's something that I'll never forget, because funny enough, I had made an appointment, like I believe a month later. They could get me in a month later to go see a doctor and actually do a surgery on it. But by faith, I said, Lord, you can heal me. And so I believed, and he did, and heal me. And today, that thing's like, it popped, and not to gross you out, but like, yes, blood and everything. And so I really want to thank God for that powerful testimony. The second question is asking, what are my expectations for this course? Well, I'm just really expecting to just grow more in the knowledge of God in the area of academics. I have experience going to a secular college, but I've just so been blessed that ORU University, I've been accepted to it, because it's always been my desire to go to university that acknowledges God, the Trinity. And so my expectations are really to just grow more in God's word and through academics. And actually, one of the scriptures that recently was put in my heart was Colossians 1:10, which says that we will walk in a manner worthy of the Lord, bearing fruit in every good work and increasing in the knowledge of God. So my expectations really is just to grow more in my knowledge of him throughout this course. Last question is, if I could travel anywhere in the world, where would I go? I would go to Japan. I am a big foodie person. I love food and I love plants, if you can see. And so I would go to Japan, specifically these three cities: Osaka, Kyoto, or Hiroshima. I hope I'm pronouncing them right. But those are the three cities that I'll probably check out. And really, because all three of them have three things that I really enjoy, especially when I'm traveling, and that's the street foods, the cultural, historical, rich history that Japan has, and I just love their culture and the diversity. So thank you so much for connecting, and I look forward to also watching everybody else's videos. God bless you, and shalom.